afternoon, everybody. It's a hot Texas afternoon, but being that I'm running out of time before we go back to the Philippines, I'm out here in the heat any which way, trying to do a little cleanup, a little haul off, while everything's all dead grass and I can see everywhere right now. Or when we come back in the spring, you know, it'll be all grown up, probably tall grass, and things will be buried down in the grass. So go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity while I'm still here and get all this done. Right now, Mel and I, we've been going all over the farm and inside our house and sheds and any and everywhere, just throwing away junk that's like scrap metal. And we're getting a trailer load together here to haul off to a recycler. Just do our part of cleaning up, but not just putting everything in a landfill. We really believe in recycling. Guys have been working on my house. They shouted at me and they said, hey, you know, we could work for the next few days if you want us to finish up some stuff. I was gonna go ahead and stop the work by now, but I said, you know what, yeah, sure, y'all come on. And so they're finishing up that siding on that second floor. Just be really nice to go ahead and get that done and over with and just put it behind us. Man, water is so low right now on my pond here. If you can get a idea, this is a channel and it's like a little island out here, and usually just the very top edge of that island showing through the water, and you can see right there the lines where like the moss and all usually is. Yeah, and this makes like a little channel of water that comes right around behind it here, and oh man, it is dried down. And there's some of these places out here don't even have but a few inches of water left on them. For instance, you can just see the mud and all just right through the water right there. I'd say, you know, it dropped down another 2, 3, 4 inches. All of that right there is going to start exposing out of the water, just like it's already started doing right there as well. Now it gets deeper right on out from there, but not real deep. This thing has silted in a lot since when I originally had it built. And yeah, I had that excavator, which there's only so far you can reach with an excavator. And from there, you'd have to just probably pump your water out. It's not that easy to clean one up once it's built. So if I had to guess how low is this pond right now, I'd say it's probably 4 feet low. 4 to 5. It looks closer to 5 foot, maybe 5 foot low on water right now. Yeah, it's really something else. Well, what I'm down here doing right now is I got my tractor sitting here, and I brought a couple fresh charged batteries, some diesel, some tools and things here, and the front end loader on it. And I'm gonna go up here and try to start up this excavator. I didn't start it last year. It's got that 6BT Cummins engine in it, and man, is that a good motor. And it's got a really good sized bucket on it here as well. All right, well, I'm gonna get here on it and see what kind of luck I have. So we're up here, got the hood raised up on it. This is the 5.9 liter 6BT Cummins turbocharged diesel in it right here. Man, what a great motor. Just an absolutely great motor. This machine is called a Halla, H-A-L-L-A, Halla, and it's built out of Korea, out of South Korea. But here's the funny thing about it. It is the same exact machine as a Case P888, And this is also called a holla 888. And the thing about this is that Holla is actually who built the case. Case sold the P888 all around the world, countries throughout the world, but they were not the manufacturer of it. Holla was a Korean company, and this company ended up getting absorbed by Hyundai. So in a sense, it's a Hyundai machine now, but the original Holla brand was a brand of its own. Well, this was owned by the United States Air Force. A county precinct up in North Texas had bought it or received it or something from the government, and they swore they couldn't get parts for it, that they couldn't find parts for a Holla. So this municipal government said they couldn't get parts for it, and they auctioned it off on a government website. And I bid on it, and I picked it up for a little bit of nothing. I mean, pretty good price. So I say a little bit of nothing. It was still a chunk of money. I think I gave maybe $17,000 for it. Had 700 hours of running time on it. I paid a heavy equipment truck, which was operated by my friend Cap there in the Philippines. He worked for the guy that had that truck, and they moved bulldozers and stuff with. And Cap went up to North Texas, and man, we started up there and loaded on the trailer and brought it on back down here to Texas. And I've used it different times and playing with it and all, but then we got so busy that it is just set here, and I need to get it cranked up right now while it's dry. It'll be muddy this next spring. This thing is heavy. It weighs somewhere under 40,000 pounds. I think it's somewhere around 38,000, something like that. So it is a heavy machine, and it is not a track type excavator. It's what they call a pneumatic. It's on rubber tires, has 8 tires around it, 2 on each corner, has a bull blade down in the front, has outriggers that drop in the back, big counterweight on the rear, and it's heavy. It'll get stuck. You don't want to be running around in the mud with it. I can just tell you that right now. You don't. So I need to get it down and get it on some solid ground up near the house. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I had a little bit of work. I want to work on a couple ponds. When it's dry right now would have really been a great time to do that, but I decided going back to Philippines, so I'm time limited now. But nevertheless, I'm gonna see if I can crank it up, and if I can, there are some mounds of dirt I left last time right there, and there's a goose sitting on a mound of dirt right there. So I want to break those mounds up and see if I can get them all loose where I can move them with the front end loader of my tractor, and I have some low places and holes that I want to fill in with that dirt right there. And I don't know, I may grab some of these willows right here and rip them out that I don't want growing all around my pond. They seem to be taking over. They will really mess the pond up, so I want to get those out as well. So I better get busy here and put these batteries on. Boy, the wind just kicked up, and that feels so good. And that's actually a blessing for me out here right now. And let's see if this thing will still whirl over, and if it will, get it primed up, and hopefully it fires off. Well, we got the batteries on down here. So being that this was rebranded or branded as a case and sold all over the world, all I did is just went online, found the parts book and the repair manual for a case 888, download it, and instantly I had all the parts right there, and I can just go to a case dealer and buy the parts of this machine. You don't have to find a Holla dealer. You ask them about Holla, they have no clue. But if you ask them about a case P888, yep, they got it. And so I was able to order this one little electronic piece that needed, didn't even cost like 20 bucks, and put it on the machine. And there you go. it's pretty friggin' awesome, man. It's been, I think, 2 years. I got sitting here thinking time has flown by since I have started this machine up, and that is really cool. So I just put the batteries on it, and down there at that little diesel primer pump, pumped it up a little bit. I cracked the line on the injector pump there, the main feed into it, and pumped to make sure I had fuel coming all the way through. Closed it up, hit the key, and you saw the rest, man. It fired right up. That is so awesome. And it was really kind of idling high, like maybe something's kind of stuck or needs to lubricate. I was pulling the throttle all the way down the low idle, but it wasn't going all the way down. So I checked that out real quick. Maybe something with the linkage. I brought some WD-40. And actually I poured a little bit of diesel around some places on the motor too, just for a little bit of lubricant earlier. Well, that's pretty cool. Man, you can't really go wrong with these old 6BTs, man. They are just such great motors. So I'm gonna get busy here checking hydraulic fluid, see what the situation is on that. Maybe run and go buy some if I don't have some here already. I think I have a little bit on hand. Lo and behold, I got 2 full jugs of hydraulic fluid right here, so 10 gallons. And that's great because the prices are so high to replace this right now. So there's another win again. We'll get this stuff up there and get it poured in. I know the machine needs it. So the next little workout task is getting this up there. Well, I'm going to lift it out some deep ruts here, where it's been sitting for a long time through winters. Using the bucket at the same time, but it's coming on up out of here. Use that bucket again, push it back again. It's always hard to use joysticks when you're recording at the same time, so I'm having to use one hand over here then over here. So y'all don't beat me up for not having gracious moves here right now. I am backing it up. Just want to be easy here. Well, pop that little willow right out. I'm gonna swing around here, do the next one. I don't have my tripods. I didn't plan on being in the US a long time, which we're not. And I left them all in the Philippines, other than just one little tiny one. There we go. I just got that tree out of the water too. I'll bring my tractor back here. Well, tell you what, there's a burn pile right over there. Yep, there's a burn pile right there. Away we go. It's a good little machine right here. And look how low that water is, man. So the main pile that I'm wanting to break down is the one blocking the view of my water from the back of the house there right now, which is these piles over here. And they're the closest ones to where I want to carry the dirt also. Well, it's sure nice that this machine, after 2 years, has cranked up, and not only cranked up, but it's really running great. And I can see it there in my rear mirror. So I can see it folding down. And now I'm all up on my stands now, planted in place, because this isn't like a wheeled excavator. And I can sit here and break up this dirt and all now. And let me tell you, it is really packed in there too. Well, look at that. Isn't that nice? Let's get it right on out here where I can easily scoop it with a tractor. Well, there she is, right there. She's planted up on her outriggers. It's got these big outriggers here. You can see this machine before the military painted it. It was that good old construction yellow. The U.S. Air Force painted it. And the case ones, instead of saying hollow molded in a counterweight, says case. Identical. And both of them have the same 888 logo on them. Identical as well. They are the exact same machine. Yep. And you can faintly still read U.S. Air Force underneath right there. And then the military number. They're getting the last of the siding up there right now. They did the eave and the soffit up there on that second floor today. And they'll do the fascia trim, I guess, after that, or maybe they'll put that siding on first. I think they'll probably do the fascia and then they'll put the siding. But nevertheless, that's all they like on this side of the house. And a little bit of corner trim work coming down those corners now, which I've already bought. Man, it just looks good. Yeah, the cows are all trying to stay cool down here in the water. Now, for you that don't know, these aren't my cows anymore because I sold them. Sold them to my cousin. And normally, I don't let the cows go down inside the water in this pond. I usually won't even let them around this pond. But it's the safest pond for them to be in right now and not get stuck in the mud. So I told my cousin, you know what, just let them be right now. Just let them be. And it ain't hurting anything. Yeah, there's projects I probably could have worked on here, like the barn here that I never finished. At one point in time, I had big dreams and hopes, you know, building that barn, poured the concrete, bought steel, bought the metal. Materials are sitting there. But man, my heart just was not in it. And I'm like, no, all I'm building is something else to be taxed on. And my heart is in the Philippines. I can't change that. I mean, you can't just remove it. I went there years ago, already a long time ago. I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with the place more so than it was about a person. This before I even knew Melinda. And even though the original person that I met there just turned out to be not the thing for me, the country and the people just so wonderful. And who can't fall in love with the tropics too? You know, all the fruit trees and the greenery and the beaches and the beautiful waters and rocky outcrops and just the changes everywhere and the hustle and bustle of life. There's just life really happening all around you. In here, look at this. There's, you know, there's not really much anything for people. And I like the energy. I like the vibe, you know, of people being all around. Let's look at my old cows a little bit more. There's just scattered here everywhere right now. Y'all don't know. Let's check out the old white cow. This is the white cow that I raised from a calf. And now she has a white calf. She's bred with a black bull, but she still threw a solid white calf. Yeah. The cows that used to be mine. There's a bunch more of them all gathered up underneath this cedar tree here. So I talked to my cousin. I told him, you know, it's really dangerous here right now. If there was a fire, it would just spread like madness across. And the ground's really hard. It's hard to plot and disc it, but he came over, my cousin Bud Dennis, and they took tractors, and you can see on the hillside back and behind there too, they tried to plow fire guards the best they could with really hard ground. Hello, girl. Hello, girl. It's kind of nice the way I sold these, and they're still here with me. Not mine anymore, but at least they're not just gone. They're just still right here. So, plow these fire guards. There's one goes right down through the middle of this back property too. It really won't stop a blowing wind fire. Man, this little stuff will get blowing in the air and it'll just jump right over this. But at least it can maybe slow it down and give firemen and yourself and all a fighting chance. So yeah, we probably shouldn't have left, and I probably could have done more, but here's the thing. Back here on this building, I need to do some welding and stuff. There's no way I can weld back here. It would be crazy. There's just the fire risk is just out of this world right now. So there wasn't going to be any sense in taking that kind of risk of starting a fire and burning off half the countryside trying to weld and work on this building. Just not a good time. And then you try to touch that hot metal, it is just so scorching hot. It used to be part of my work, is putting up metal buildings, and I know how hot it can get. So, well, we're not making no progress there. It's so hard to work outside for the things that we want to do outdoors. We have been managing to do some work outside, but it's just so hot. And other than a few things that we have accomplished here, we still didn't get near out of this trip what we wanted to. So we're going to go on home. This year's a bust. We still got all of this month of August. You're going to watch this video real time. Either it's going to be the same day or the following day when this is put out. We still have a lot of heat ahead of us. August is still always a hot, dry month. We're in a drought. It's not just going to instantly turn green. I could see this burn ban lasting on up through the winter or all the way around to next spring. So with all of that, it's running out of the things that we can really accomplish and get done here. It's just not a good time to be here and do the things that we need to finish up and do. We have a better life there. We have a whole lot better life there. whole goal here right now is just breaking the dirt up, just loosen it up so that the front end loader of my tractor can easily just scoop it. I'm not having to try to dig into it, bite into it and all. So all I'm doing right now is just breaking up this old clay-like soil and all that has sat here and just packed up over several years, and it's doing a pretty good job. I'm gonna swing over here and get a different bite on it, and I'll probably break this up. There's still some hard lumps underneath this pile here, so I backed away from it and just take advantage of this dry time right now and the time before we go back to the Philippines and do a little maintenance work here to pretty up around the pond and to make it a nicer view from the back of the house with all this lumpy, bumpy piles of mess that you can't properly groom or nothing. Power company of the day, Encore, which is the one that has all the transmission lines in our area, they met with me about where to set the power pole for the other mobile home that we had put in here, and showed the lady where I'd like to put it, and if I asked her if that would work out, and she agreed that it would work out. So I'll probably get up early in the morning, set that pole. She's doing the work order right now, and they'll probably be out in the next few days, early part of this next week or so, to get power set for that. And at least that'll be done, and when we come back the next trip, we can finish up stuff and focus on that house over there. And I didn't want to rush it. I really want to make that house nice. In fact, some of the porch stuff I don't like. I took some old porches and put back on there, and they're kind of cheesy, and I want to do a little bit more upgrades on that house. So I don't want to, like I say, I don't want to rush it. You know, I can make it into a nice place, or I can make it into a crappy place. And I want to make it into a nice place and get a better quality renter. So I want to do like, not just get it underpinned, but I want to do like nicer porches on it and some covers down through there. And I want to do some upgrades on the inside. And I want to build a carport there for it and all, and have a nice carport and everything. Repaint a little shed that's there by it. Just do numerous things. I'm wanting to put like a landscaping bed all the way around the skirt of the house. I bought that cloth that you put down for landscaping, and then I want to go around over that with rock, and then I cut holes in it, and I can set little plants and stuff, and you don't have to worry about a bunch of grass and stuff growing up around the skirt of your home. And it'll look aesthetically pleasing and nice, you know, not just a mobile home sitting out in the middle of a pasture. So yeah, our next trip, when we come home, that will be the house that we'll probably put our real focus in on, is that house there, because that will give us a residual income, you know, a check in the mail when we're in the Philippines. And it's right here. It's right here. It's where like my camera system, it's here at this house and all. I can see people coming and going. I can see if they're taking care of the place, but not spy on them. I'm not wanting to spy on my renters. I have cameras here now, and I don't spy on my renters. But if I'm curious, you know, like one of my other renters says, hey, this or that's happening or something, I can look at a camera, you know, or if they talk about there's bad weather or change of weather or snow or ice, I can look at the camera. But if they say, hey, they're piling junk and trash up, I can go look at the camera and see what's going on and make a decision from abroad. And that's kind of nice to have it like that. And I have more control of it all being right here at my house. This gives me 3 rentals right here at the farm, and then our place that we live as well. And so that's nice too, because you can keep an eye on it, and we don't have the problems right here that we have at houses that's away from us. So that's pretty nice as well. We're getting everything together though, and it won't be long. We're down into our countdown now. Some pretty neat news is that we have some subscribers that I guess have, maybe they're from California, Florida, both. I'm a little bit vague on the whole story just yet, but the wife is going to be traveling from Florida to California, and then not long behind us, she's flying to Iloilo, and she's driving from Florida to California. And I asked him what route that she's taking, and he said Route 320 right here. I said, that's great, because she will be within just a few miles of our home, because our road comes right off of 20. And so she's gonna be passing through this Sunday, and we're coordinating everything for her to visit with us. And that'll be pretty cool because, like I say, just weeks later, we can all meet up in the Philippines as well, right there in our city of Iloilo. And I think that is really cool. You know, just kind of like we just shrink this world down and like we just have it in the palm of our hand. You know, we do. It's this life we have. It's a wonderful life.